This is crazy to say, but the first time I smoked was probably 10 years ago. Man, I'm an unk now, but I was probably around 15 when I first started. But I will say it's super interesting because the first couple times I smoked, I didn't feel too much. But today we're going to do a little story time type of thing, and I'm going to tell you about the first time I actually got high. Now, just a disclaimer, we're not going to use the word weed, and we're going to replace it with green, just so we don't upset anyone. And by anyone, I mean
YouTube.
But yeah, man, when I was growing up, I was super interested in this sort of stuff. If you've seen some of my old videos, you'd know I tried to get it on the dark web before I even started smoking, which is crazy in itself. I was so interested in it that even so, me and my homie would end up smoking tea. We would make homemade bongs and pretend like we were smoking the real deal green, when in reality it was just tea that was probably fucking up our lungs. But even that, man, I have fond memories. Like me and bro tucked away into the forest, thought we were being super sneaky, but in reality we were doing nothing naughty at all. And like I said, I didn't get high the first time that I started smoking, so there was no real crazy stories there. I felt kind of slightly buzzed. I would almost compare it to like CBD. But anyway, man, the first time I got proper high, it was me and 3 other homies. One of the homies was the one that I used to smoke tea with. And I can't actually remember how we got it. I assume one of them just bought it. And it would have been tiny. It would have been probably a gram, not even. And I do believe we smoked a joint. And for my younger viewers, green culture now is completely different from 10 years ago. There's no pens. It was definitely not legal, not even medicinal. There was no brands, there was no Zaza, there was no runts. It was literally just whatever you could get your hands on at the time. Now, this being like my 4th, maybe 3rd time smoking, I was really hoping that it would hit me like I'd see on the movies. You know, you'd see the classic things like giggling and all that sort of stuff. And I just haven't experienced it yet, so I was really hoping this time. So yeah, I brought 3 of my homies over to my house, rolled a doobie and went for a walk. Not thinking much of it and not even expecting anything to happen. And you know, we finished the joint and I did not feel anything. But my homies were clearly faded. So I was kind of jealous. Anyway, they all started fucking around and just like speed walking. And from memory, I think we walked hella far away from the house because I was super scared of my mom finding out or even slightly smelling it. I would have even put on a different hoodie that I could just take off and so that wouldn't smell. Probably bought the can of deodorant, you know, the classic stuff that you do. So yeah, man, all of my homies were definitely faded. And I was jealous, but I was getting in on their shenanigans. And they started like power walking or like running down the street or something. I don't even remember. And what I did was I just stared at the ground as I was moving. And I was like comparing it to Star Wars going light speed. And I don't know, I must have ran like 100 meters. And then halfway through it, I'm like, wait, this feels funny. The ground's looking hella funny. It feels like I'm moving hella fast. I look up and I realize after all this time smoking, after all these years researching weed, I'm finally high. And I literally started screaming it like an absolute crack addict. Like literally screaming the words, word for word, I'm high, I'm high. Like looking back, that was the dumbest shit that I could have done. And my homies definitely called me out for it and they were telling me to shut up. But I was so ecstatic, man, like so extremely ecstatic. Like it's a crazy feeling. If you've never experienced anything like it, it is super crazy. And this is not me promoting it at all. I'm literally just telling a story of 10 years ago because even though I do partake in the devil's lettuce, I definitely don't recommend anyone to do it unless you do your own research and you really are excited about it. But yeah, man, there was just this realization of like, damn, this is what it is. Like, this is what the movies say. This is what the homies say. And everything was extremely funny. Looking back, there was even this crazy moment where one of the homies kicked a dead rabbit onto my leg. Now, I lived kind of like a rural sort of area, so there was bunnies crossing the road and shit, and every now and then there would be a dead bunny. And man, I just remember walking and all of a sudden feeling this thing wrap around my leg. And I turned around and like, what was that? What was that? All the homies were absolutely pissing themselves. And I just knew it. And I had to ask them, was that a dead rabbit? But they did not want to tell me that's what it was because I would have freaked out. Even looking back, I kind of was freaking out a little bit. And those little shits did not tell me the truth, even though I knew damn well. Because on the walk over, I saw it and I pointed it out and I just knew. I just knew that that's what it was. I literally felt it wrap around my leg and shit. Anyway, coming back home feeling a way that I've never felt before, I was absolutely terrified to get caught by my parents. Luckily, nothing happened at all, but I was so paranoid that when I got back to the room, I put on sunglasses even though it was the middle of the night. Like that definitely would have told my mom that I was high without even using my voice. There was even this time where I heard noises like outside my bedroom and I quickly put the blanket on but left the sunglasses on because I was so scared of getting caught and thought that wearing sunglasses in bed is completely fine and not suspicious at all. Anyway, my homies were absolutely fucking pissing themselves at me. And I was pissing myself too. I never remember laughing that much. And I never remember seeing the homies that happy. It was very funny. I was really into my horror movies at that time. I feel like we tried to watch a Saw movie, but I just could not do it, man. Like, the feeling of being high for the first time is completely foreign and new and irreplaceable. And I can't remember the exact phrase, but I guess that's why they say you chase the dragon or you chase the purple dragon or whatever. Like, that first high is crazy and you'll never get it back. And I think that's why a lot of people have fond memories about their first time smoking. Of course, we had food on deck, and I just remember eating for the first time and thinking, food tastes so much better. Like, food has never tasted this good. I think I was literally eating cold pizza, and to this day, that's the best pizza I've ever eaten. And it's crazy, man, because I probably only would have taken a couple drags out of the joint, but I was gone for the whole night. And like, realistically, if I did that now, it wouldn't even last 20 minutes or even anything. Dude, I even remember listening to music and it absolutely blew my mind. I remember booting up my old iPhone 5 and looking up on YouTube 8D audio, and it was this dumbass YouTube video that's not real at all, and it will have like some hypnotizing visuals, and the audio fades in and out between left and right ears. I remember putting headphones on and thinking I was literally teleporting into another dimension. But even looking back, that's absolutely insane, because 8D audio is not even a thing, especially on shitty Apple headphones. I just must have been absolutely cooked. But I remember that being crazy, like it was genuinely tripping me out. But it's especially interesting to look back on that moment, because it's like, damn, that really is the start of something that I sort of continued throughout my whole life. Like, yeah, I've stopped on and off, but that was the beginning. And it was just so fun back then. There wasn't really any like need to do it. There wasn't any like want to do it necessarily. It was literally just a fun thing. And I think I probably had the best sleep I'd ever had after that. And waking up the next day just felt so good. Like, I never felt so refreshed but groggy at the same time. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I even think after this day, there was a bit of bud left over, so we all split it, like already ground up and stuff like that. And I think I was so paranoid to have it in my house that I was tempted to flush it down the toilet, but I ended up hiding it in my PS Vita case for like 3 weeks. And then eventually I would smoke it again on my own, because it was kind of scary smoking on your own back then. Smoking with the homies is one thing, but starting to smoke by yourself is another thing. But yeah, man, it's kind of a short story, but like, that was such a good time. And even just remembering it is so crazy how well I remember it, because my memory is absolutely fried. I'm super curious how everyone else's first time getting high was, so just let me know in the comments. Like the video as well if you like this kind of video. It's just a super quick story time I thought you guys might enjoy, because even before I started smoking, man, I was heavily inspired by like xcodeh or Luna or Custom Go 420, where they sort of just told stories, you know. I always wondered if those stories were fake, but even then I just enjoyed them so much as a kid. Xcodeh especially, he's the goat with this sort of stuff. So yeah, if you're a regular subscriber, just let me know if you like this type of video, and I can throw out hella story times. But like I said, my memory is kind of cooked, so I can't remember that well. So yeah, if you like the video, like the video and subscribe for more. As always, all my links are in the description, that being my Instagrams, my clothing brand, my streaming platforms. And yeah, man, I appreciate you all. I appreciate you, especially if you listen this far in the video. We're still using an iPhone as a microphone because I'm still away from my setup, which sucks. I really want to stream for you guys, but regardless, we're still going to pump out videos. And yeah, man, that's all from me. Say no to drugs. Do not be inspired by me if you're younger. And like I said, I want to hear your first story, so let me know. Regardless, it's been once faded. Peace.